wild because, like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight.
And I said, your hand's always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're going to do this?
For that, Floyd is the best fighter, in his era. And I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith responds to Floyd Mayweather calling out Terence Crawford, emphasizing how today's boxing narrative often oversells hype while underselling true dominance. Smith explains Crawford's championship resume, technical skills, and highlight-worthy victories prove his elite greatness. He stresses Mayweather's age and post-prime status, suggesting the real fight conversation should spotlight Crawford's unmatched legacy, trending dominance, and pay-per-view star power instead of exaggerated debates that distract fans from appreciating authentic sports commentary and boxing excellence.
Think about what he had to say about you when he said, you're way better than Floyd Money Mayweather. I know you heard that he said that. What thoughts came to your mind when you heard that Canelo Alvarez said that about you?
Hey, that's a big compliment. He's been in the ring with both of us, so he would know, from his own experience. A lot of people, they can say this, they can say that, but there's only, a few people that can say they've been in the ring with Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather and give their own.
Boxing legend Shane Mosley analyzed the skill sets of Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, stressing that Crawford is naturally the bigger, stronger fighter. Mosley explained that Crawford's power, size, and physical dominance give him a natural advantage in today's welterweight division, making him a dangerous opponent on pay-per-view events. However, he emphasized Mayweather's unmatched defensive skills, elite ring IQ, and adaptability. Floyd built a billion-dollar legacy through precision, training discipline, and technical mastery. Mosley's breakdown highlights that Crawford thrives on strength, while Mayweather achieved greatness through strategic brilliance and consistency.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
In a detailed interview with Ariel Helwani, Terence Crawford emphasized that Canelo Alvarez holds a valuable perspective. Having shared the spotlight with both Floyd Mayweather and Crawford, Canelo's analysis adds credibility. Crawford explained the context. Mayweather faced a young, inexperienced Canelo, while he battled the Mexican superstar as a prime, dominant champion at 168 pounds. Despite Canelo's size advantage, Crawford's performance showcased elite skills, pound-for-pound strength, and undeniable knockout power. Canelo's statement that Crawford's punches carried more impact highlights a legacy-defining moment. For boxing fans, it reinforces that greatness evolves across generations, eras, and pay-per-view history.
It was cooking right there because there was this thought, this prevailing thought that the smaller man always loses to the bigger man. This was repeated time and again throughout the fight week. And he proved that that's not the case. Again, I hope you all recognize this was a 168-pounder fighting a 147-pounder. He had one fight at 154 last August, was the undisputed king at 147, beating Errol Spence in July of 2023, came back the following year, fought Israel Madrimov at the soccer stadium in Los Angeles, and then did everything he could to get this fight, played his cards the right way, and there he was. standing face to face against Canelo Alvarez, who did seem for the longest time like he didn't want to take this fight, and because there was great risk involved. Because not only is Terence Crawford one of the all-time best fighters in the history of the sport, he's smaller than him. So a lot of people would be like, oh, of course you're going to beat the smaller guy, right? But I think Canelo recognized, yeah, he might be smaller, but he's that damn good.
Boxing trainer Greg Hackett delivered a powerful analysis, stressing that Floyd Mayweather showcased a complete fighter package when he faced Canelo Alvarez. Hackett explained Mayweather's polished defense, pay-per-view brilliance, and disciplined execution made him unbeatable in that money fight. While Terence Crawford thrives on explosive counters, viral highlights, and aggressive adaptability, Hackett argued Mayweather's strategy reflected unmatched perfection. From flawless training execution to championship-level focus, Floyd dominated start to finish. Respecting Crawford's achievements, Hackett still believes Mayweather's masterclass remains the gold standard in fight breakdowns in sports revenue history.
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
In the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jay?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great. To me, I could be wrong, but he didn't look so great to me because he was learning a lot about Madrimov while he was in there with Madrimov.
Max Kellerman delivered an in-depth analysis highlighting the business strategy behind two legendary fighters. He noted that once Floyd Mayweather exited the lightweight division, he carefully managed brand value by selecting opponents strategically, ensuring maximum revenue and long-term audience engagement. Terence Crawford, by contrast, embraced higher risk, fighting virtually anyone available without hesitation, which boosted his reputation for boldness and competitive spirit. Kellerman emphasized, this contrast doesn't reduce Floyd's greatness, but instead showcases Crawford's marketable willingness to challenge elite talent across multiple divisions.
It's wild because, like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Yes.
That makes a difference to people.
Crawford firmly declared that facing a prime Floyd Mayweather, he envisions victory as both achievable and strategic. His statement reflects confidence, not disrespect, acknowledging Mayweather's legendary skill set. However, Crawford highlights his adaptability, power, and unique stance-switching abilities as competitive advantages. He respects Floyd's revenue-generating legacy and championship dominance, yet sees his own market value rising through bold ambition. For Crawford, it isn't about diminishing Mayweather's financial success, but about showcasing the investment of relentless discipline fueling boxing greatness.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Jeff Mayweather, uncle of Floyd Mayweather, reminded boxing fans that when Floyd faced Canelo Alvarez, he was already past his prime. Floyd was older, slower, and less explosive than the dominant champion who ruled lighter divisions. Yet, with world-class experience, elite defense, and perfect timing, Floyd completely outclassed Canelo. Jeff stresses, this detail is often ignored when people hype Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo. His point? Context is critical. Floyd was fading, while Crawford remains near peak performance, making comparisons unfair.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah. What was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, very, very young in the game,
very
obviously.
Young, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people, but he.
How you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose?
20s.
I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
But
want to make himself look like he did something great.
Sports media personality Stephen A. Smith delivered powerful analysis on Crawford's championship victory over Canelo, calling it a trending, viral-level fight night. He emphasized that Crawford, despite being the smaller underdog, delivered an epic showdown, completely dominating a larger opponent on pay-per-view. Smith described the performance as breaking news in boxing history, highlighting Crawford's ability to generate excitement, deliver unforgettable highlights, and create massive broadcast value. According to Stephen A., boxing needs stars like Crawford, who combine skill, entertainment, and money-making spectacle.
90,482 people showed up for this fight. But the biggest props of the night goes to Terence Crawford, who did not disappoint. He was supposed to be the smaller man. He was supposed to be the weaker man. He was supposed to be the man that was going to spend the entire night on his bicycle, running for his damn life because Saul Canelo Alvarez was coming his way. That is not what happened. What happened instead, ladies and gentlemen, was a masterclass in boxing by Terence Crawford. Now, to me, the fight, some people were saying it was just severely lopsided and stuff like that. I'm not going for that. I'm not feeling that at all. It wasn't like that at all, okay? I had the fight 5-4 in favor of Terence Crawford after 9 rounds. It could have gone either way. And then he basically put on a boxing clinic over the last 3 rounds of the fight. And one rounds 10, 11, and 12. He used his jab. He kept his distance. He exchanged when necessary, which is something that I was scared to death of him doing. But he wasn't scared at all. Okay?
An experienced boxing analyst highlighted that Floyd Mayweather's unmatched pay-per-view revenue and undefeated legacy secure him a massive international audience. Yet, in terms of raw skill, Terence Crawford could surpass even Mayweather. As a natural southpaw who effortlessly shifts stances, Crawford creates unpredictable boxing highlights that drive premium fan engagement. His precision, ring IQ, and calm dominance resemble Mayweather, but with a unique twist that attracts elite sports analysis, lucrative brand sponsorships, digital streaming value, and strong.
Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ. And not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far. And I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Many analysts remain cautious about comparisons between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford. They emphasize Mayweather's dominance as unique, powered by defensive brilliance, business strategy, and unmatched ring IQ, creating a legacy beyond replication. His wealth-building model, marketing genius, and ability to monetize streaming transformed boxing into a revenue powerhouse. Crawford's rise, critics argue, is fueled more by hype and digital buzz than proven longevity. While Mayweather mastered defensive investment in his career, Crawford thrives on risk-taking, aggression, and stance switching. Observers believe these differences highlight contrasting paths of wealth, dominance, and branding, making direct comparisons exaggerated entertainment rather than reality.
You guys say it with me. Terence Crawford isn't Mayweather. I need you guys to sit here, grab somebody close to you, hold their hand, sit down, say it with me. Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather. They're just both black. That's the only similarities they have. They both black. Terence Crawford loves being hit. The guy likes to scrap. He likes to brawl. Terence Crawford isn't even an Alexander Usyk. This guy loves being hit. He gets a thrill out of it. He sticks his tongue at his opponents when he is hit. Look at that. He enjoys that stuff. He tends to fight with low hands at times. He tends to exchange and brawl in the pocket, plant and fire, despite him having really great feet. Sometimes he likes to sit there and fire. If you have Terence Crawford beating Canelo, that's fine. I get you. But don't bring up Floyd Mayweather. No similarities. Floyd was way quicker, way sharper, better defensively, better reflexes, better timing, better IQ, better damn near everything. So say it with me one more time before we go. Terence Crawford, we said it, is not Floyd Mayweather. There we go.
Terence Crawford's groundbreaking achievement of becoming the first boxer in history to claim undisputed championships across 3 weight divisions is more than just a sports milestone. It's a pay-per-view legacy moment. His dominance highlights marketable versatility, career longevity, and financial impact, making headlines in sports media worldwide. Unlike Floyd Mayweather, who never unified welterweight or super welterweight, Crawford strategically stacked titles, building brand value and increasing career earnings. This historic accomplishment cements Crawford's unique legacy, strengthens boxing's global revenue appeal, and separates his championship record from Mayweather's.
Terence Bud Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez and becomes the first ever male 3-division undisputed champion in boxing history. Thank God the judges got this one right. But wow, what a technical battle this was. It was a very close fight, but as it went on, Terence was getting more and more comfortable in there. I remember in the 7th round, he even stood right in front of Canelo and fought him on the inside. Then in rounds 9 through 12, Crawford really started to open up on his flurries, gaining Canelo's respect. But the reason Crawford won this fight was because he was surprisingly durable at 168. He was able to do his thing because for the 36 minutes he was in there with Canelo, he was never really worried about what was coming back at him. I mean, Canelo just kept going to Terence's right side of his body, and that stung a couple times, but those were the really only hard shots Canelo landed. Unfortunately, this is terrible for Canelo's legacy because the smaller men beat him up, and Canelo's kind of been cherry-picking his opponents the last couple years. But well-deserved for Terence Crawford. It's going to look amazing on his legacy. Boxing got it right tonight. On the biggest stage, with the most eyeballs, no controversy, just pure sport. And one of the best ever at the sport got it done tonight, Terence Bud Crawford.
After defeating Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford revealed how intensely he prepared for that pay-per-view showdown. He emphasized that his training camp was built around elite strength programs, conditioning drills, and performance strategies to successfully compete at 168 pounds. Crawford stressed that the win came from discipline, advanced planning, and championship focus rather than luck. His fight breakdown highlights the mindset of a true pound-for-pound star. Every performance, he explained, is about legacy, dominance, and proving that this championship era undeniably belongs to him.
Everybody was saying, the people that ran with that narrative convinced me that that was a narrative because I don't know the world as much. The thought of not having to lose weight is probably a happier, how was camp? Good camp?
It was great. You know, it wasn't a camp that we was focused on weight, you know, so we could just focus on my craft and focus on, you know, getting stronger, which we was already strong, you know, but, you know, we don't know what we up against. So, you know, we definitely want to make sure our body is prepared for whatever onslaught Canelo brings. So, of course, you know, we gonna, you know, cross our I's and dot our T's. And, you know, that's what we did in training.
You looked unbelievable. You looked absolutely unbelievable. Not that you ever don't, but it's just like, God, this guy looks like he is very prepared. And then as the fight continued, it felt that way. Turkey Al Sheikh deemed you the fighter of the century. And obviously Ring Magazine and TKO come together to put this incredible event together. What has it been like, you know, with the modern world of boxing now, that Riyadh season has gotten involved? And obviously Dana and Nick Khan of the WWE. And it feels like anything is possible in the boxing world now. Is that the big takeaway that we should think after you and Canelo fight and have the success? Or how do you kind of view it all?
Yeah, for sure. You know, anything is definitely possible. You know, when a lot of people kept saying that what I was trying to accomplish.
That concludes today's content. Subscribe for premium updates.